So I'm no, recording in progress. All right. My name is Susannah, and I'm here with my colleague Crystal, and we are going to talk about how to use Book Connections as a reader's advisory tool, getting ready to recommend today. So that includes using it in sort of live readers advisory situations where you're helping a patron. It includes finding books for displays, things like that, if you're looking for recommended lists. And also as a tool that you can help your patrons learn to use to do their own readers advisory. So I'm going to start by backing up a little bit and talking about Book Connections as a whole. So Book Connections is a collection of digital resources intended to help all readers connect equitably to books, read joyfully, create a lifelong love of reading. Book Connections is the public library interface of TeachingBooks. It's the same resources, same database, just organized a little bit differently with that public library audience in mind. In South Carolina, you have access to TeachingBooks and Book Connections. All schools, colleges, public libraries, and residents of South Carolina have access through Discus, South Carolina's virtual library. And Book Connections is also, I kind of touched on this a little bit already, but Book Connections is really for both your patrons who can use it to find resources, tools, do their own readers advisory, but it's also for library staff. We have tools on the site that can help augment the work you're already doing, including readers advisory. And I do also want to mention that in South Carolina, your school districts will also have access to these same resources and tools through TeachingBooks. So that makes for easy collaboration there as well. And we are going to kick off by showing you how to get logged in. There's a couple of things we're going to be doing later that will require you to be logged in as a professional. So you can see here, we're at this sort of general access level of South Carolina State Library. But we are going to go over to that three-line toggle menu, and Crystal's going to walk you through how to log in as a professional.
Yep, over here on the three-line toggle menu. And just so you know, if you are following along wherever you may be, in South Carolina, it will probably, instead of say, welcome South Carolina State Library Discus, it will probably say welcome South Carolina resident. So you will see this, it won't look exactly the same, but it will recognize that you're in South Carolina. You're going to go to this three-line toggle menu, and then you're going to select professional login, which is right above sign out. Once you select professional login, it will prompt you to input your work email. And then if you've ever signed in with Book Connections before, it will prompt you for a password. If you don't remember, you can reset your password. Maybe you logged in a year ago and don't remember doing it. But if you have not logged in before, instead of prompting you for a password here, it will take you to a quick registration page. Once you register, what you'll see is welcome in your name up here in the upper left corner. And that's what you want to see. That way, you know you're logged in under your account. You'll have the ability to save information to your account. We won't save any patron information, but you can save lists and lesson ideas into your account.
All right, so let's take a look at some options for readers advisory tools. So we're going to go up to our magnifying glass there in the corner. And when we click on that, we get our search box. So we're going to start by just searching for a popular title. And today we're going to do Dog Man. So you can see here you get a whole bunch of options. We're just going to go with that first Dog Man original there. And you can see this is what a book page is going to look like on the site. And we're going to go straight to another little magnifying glass that says Discover Like Books. And when we open that up, we get a whole menu of ways that books might be similar to Dog Man. So I think this is a phenomenal place to start for readers advisory, whether you are looking for suggestions yourself or you're walking a patron through different ways to think about what they might be looking for when they say they want a book like Dog Man. We can see the other books in the series, other editions, other books with the same subject or classifications. So there's just a whole bunch of options here, even other books that have won the same awards or other books that appear on the same book list. So today, I think we're going to think about humor. We're going to go to this other books with the same classification. We have a Dogman fan who's looking for more funny books. That's their priority. So then when we click on that, we're going to get the full 10,000 titles in our humor collection, which is way too many to work with. So we're going to use our handy filters on the left there. We're going to do maybe start with grade level. So we're looking for grades 1 to 5 here. This is a younger reader. And then maybe they are also interested in a second genre. Maybe they're interested in humor, but they really want it to be funny graphic novels. So we'll narrow it there as well. We still have 400 titles here to work with, but you can just kind of scroll a little bit and see some of the options. Of course, we get the entire Dogman series here. But if we keep going down the page, you'll start to see things like the Lunch Lady series, Tiger versus Nightmare, the Narwhal graphic novels, just some really fabulous kind of comparable options for somebody who has read their way through those Dogman books. So that's Discover Like Books. It's just a really great entry point into thinking about what you're really looking for when you're doing Reader's Advisory.
I was just going to show them one more quick time where we found that. I just clicked into another title page and you'll see Discover Like Books will show up in the upper right corner.
Thank you, Crystal. Yes, that will be there on every single book. So you always have that option. Some other ways that you can find books are just basic searching and filtering. So we're going to start with a subject search here. So let's go back to that magnifying glass and we're going to search spies today.
I feel like I did that too fast. Just remember the magnifying glass is over here. We're going to search spies here.
Maybe we're putting together a display or just a recommended list. And under subjects on the right-hand side there, we're going to pick that first option, just spies straight up as a subject. And from here, again, let's play with those filters. We've got 300 titles-ish. Maybe this time we're looking for books for grades 4 to 8. We'll narrow that down a little bit. But if this is a display or a recommended list, maybe we really want to prioritize more recent titles. Or maybe this is something where we're trying to purchase more to fill some gaps in our collection. So we're going to go with year published in the filter options, and then let's limit to past 3 years. So again, some great options, some fabulous series, some more recent installments from those. If we scroll down a little bit, we've got just a nice little selection of books that might fill this need for us.
And if you see, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, because we do see a lot of these, we're seeing a series like Dogman, there's series. If there is a series you're interested in showcasing, you can always open it up. And you'll see that on the top of the page, there will be a series information. So you can go look that way as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to show what that looks like when you open up that?
Sure. And if we open this.
So
one thing I love about this, I don't know about you, Susannah, but I love that it labels the books in order, because sometimes we don't see that on the actual book. So it's nice to see which one comes next, because a lot of times our readers will come and ask for that too. So absolutely. You can send them to Book Connections to even look and do some research on what book would come next too.
Especially since I'm pretty sure City Spies is one of the ones that doesn't have the numbers on the spines.
Yeah. And then you have to go and search the publication date, and then it's just, you know, this just makes it easier.
Absolutely. Oh, all right, so one more kind of searching and filtering option is our browse menu. So you can get to browse up at the top in that navigation bar. And then when we open that up And you could go and see all of the books on Book Connections, but that's a lot of books, so we're not going to do that right now. We're going to open that See All Collections accordion there. And this is essentially all of our filter options in one place that you can select as collections. So you'll see that range of grade levels, you'll see curricular area, genre, cultural experience, all of those things, as well as the resource types. We're going to dig into some of our specific resources a little bit later, but you can see all those kind of listed out there. But from here, let's pick a grade level collection. Let's do 7 to 12 since we haven't done that yet. And again, that's way too many books. So we're going to do, let's do genre. Let's do mysteries. Always popular with the teens these days, little true crime lovers. But we want to make sure we have some really high quality options here. So let's do award-winning, awards and distinctions. And then here we could pick a specific award, but let's do recent award winners. So then we've got, like right off the bat, those are 4 great books on the top there. And we've got some other great options. So if you were turning this into a recommended list, a display, or if you're just maybe sending this to a teen patron or their parent who's really interested in young adult mysteries, you can also create a list out of some of these titles. So you can pick each title individually. There's going to be a little plus sign icon beneath each book, and you can add to reading list that way. Or you can do add multiple titles to reading list. We're going to do that today. So we can, kind of pick and choose here. Maybe we want to pick the first, 10 or so titles here. But we could also select all of them if we wanted to, if we wanted a bigger list. But let's add those to a list. And we'll call this create new list, and then you can call this whatever you want, Crystal. Teen Mysteries, Mysteries 7 to 12.
We'll do it that way. Here we go.
Perfect.
And then add to list.
All right, so we could get into editor view here, but I actually want to show you where this is going to live on your account forever. And that's going to be back to that 3-line toggle menu where we logged in as a professional. And you're going to go to your reading lists. And any reading list that you create is going to live there. And scroll down to your custom reading lists. And there's our mysteries for teens. So let's take a look at that list. All right. There's a lot you can do with lists that we will not dive totally into today since we're focused on one particular thing. But what I really want to show here is how you can share this particular list. Since we're talking about recommending, you're going to see that share arrow up in the corner. And when we open that up, you get a whole bunch of options. The first is just sharing URL, so no sign-in required, no matter where they are or how they're accessing, they'll be able to get straight to this list. So that's a nice, quick, and easy option. We have some digital platform options, so you could email this link directly to somebody who's looking for recommendations. You can add it to a calendar. So if you're thinking ahead, if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to do a mysteries display in November, you can just drop that directly into your calendar and have it waiting for you when it's time for that particular list. You can share on social media if you're thinking about recommending a little bit more broadly there. And you can also do our QR code printables. So let's take a look at the bookmarks, Crystal. These are going to be ready to print and cut out. They've got a QR code and a link as well that will both take you directly to this list. So you could cut these out, print them out and cut them up and just have them out on a desk in your spaces, hand them out specifically maybe at a Teen Mystery Book Club, if you're following up with more recommendations. There's just a whole lot of options. These are really easy to use.
Let me show you some images.
Yeah, let's look at how some other librarians have used some of these things.
We have these, we call them ready to go book talks, so you can do them for an individual title, or like Susannah said, if you have a display out with a bunch of titles, you can link to the list, but you can see how this librarian just stuck the bookmarks in the books, ready for patrons to scan and learn more either about the book, or if it linked to a list, they would learn more about the list too. For individual resources, you can even print what we call a shelf talker, and they just hang over the edge of the books. And this will link to a resource, an audio or video resource from the book. And then here are some bookmarks that are cut out. You'll see on that sharing page, there's also label sheet options, so you can print labels to place inside the books too. And lastly, especially if we're thinking of an indoor-outdoor idea, you could even put bookmarks in books within a window. You can see how this librarian has attached these books standing up in the window, but that was because she had some of her readers that would come early and it wasn't quite open yet. So she would have these there for them for the QR codes and the links. They have links too, but there so they could scan them, so they could visit the resources while they're waiting to come in.
Oh, previewing titles before they've even gotten in the building.
Yeah,
love to see it. All right, so at this point, we're going to take a little bit of time for you to explore. So play with that Discover Like Books tool, do some searching and filtering, see if you can create a list of whatever you find. We're going to take about 5 minutes, Crystal?
Yep, 11:22.
Perfect. And if you have any questions, please feel free to unmute and ask or drop them in the chat. We'll be paying attention to that as well.
Okay, it is 11:22. We hope that you got to explore a little more. If you have questions as we go, of course, you can write them in the chat. We're going to go ahead and explore lists a little bit differently now. We kind of talked about creating our own lists. There's ways you can search for lists as well. You can use the magnifier up here in the upper right corner. And you can you can search for things like keyword. What I want to start with is just by searching for state. So if you're thinking about your state list, you can type in South Carolina. And you'll see that the lists will show up here. We can do see all lists, and they're available to you here. So if you click into any of these, you can see we have the 22-23, but now we also even have 23-24. So if you want to do K2, look at picture book award for K2. If you were doing, some kind of display even for this, then you would see these here as well. And you can click into any of those or just share this list too. So if you are doing some kind of display for younger readers, you could do the share option here as well. You also have the option to go to the magnifying glass and search by keyword, like mystery, which I know we mentioned mysteries before, but we didn't actually go to the mystery collection. You can type it in here and you'll see mystery collection here. You can go to the collection, or what we're talking about is lists. So you can see what lists we have available. And we have a team of professional librarians who go and find these lists. They curate these lists to add to Book Connections. So if we select see all results, you can see the different lists that we have available that are mystery lists that maybe have been recognized, have awards, have titles with awards. And if we click into any of them, you can see how many. This has 97 titles, but you also have your option over here to filter. So you could filter by recent award winners or level. We already know the genre is mystery, but maybe you want another genre, like you're looking for humor within mystery. Depending on what reader you are trying to really meet the needs of, they might like mysteries that are funny. So you're looking for some good mystery titles that have humor in it too. So again, you can search by keyword just by going to the magnifying glass here and typing in the keyword. And then you can see what lists we have available. I typed mystery. You could even type adventure if you were thinking mystery/adventure, and you can see the list there as well. So we've talked about lists, how you can find them, how you can create them and share them. So another thing we would like to show you is just some of the resources we have here on Book Connections. TeachingBooks and Book Connections have the same resources. So we always will say the name sometimes incorrect. This is Book Connections. So we love to show you some of the resources we have here, just so you can think of some ways you might want to showcase and feature some titles. So I'm going to start by going to this magnifying glass again. I just want to show you where that's at. And I'm going to start by searching a title, and I'm going to do Legendborn. And you can see as I start typing, it will search for books, authors, lists, and subjects. And we're going to select Legendborn here. This will bring us to what a book page on TeachingBooks looks like, with the title and author information, as well as a book summary. And then a summary of resources. So there's 35 resources for this title if this was something you want to showcase. And one thing we always love featuring are what we call Meet the Author recordings on Book Connections. Meet the Author recordings are like a book talk, just a way better book talk than I could ever do, because it's the author book talk in your book. So you get to hear the background and the inspiration for the title. And you sometimes get to learn some really interesting facts. I'm going to play maybe one or two of these so you can see. This is a fictional title, and I'll do a nonfiction title as well.
Hi, my name is Tracy Dion, and I'm the author of Legendborn. Legendborn became an idea for a book not long after I lost my own mother. The main character in the book, Bree, loses her mother early on in the story, and then finds out throughout that her mother lost her own mother, and the same happened with her grandmother and great-grandmother. So she has this unusual pattern in her family, and she moves forward to try and find out what the source of that pattern could be. That happened to me in real life, but as a storyteller and of course as a science fiction and fantasy author, I immediately came up with a magical solution, and that's how I began writing the book Legendborn. My favorite part about Legendborn is creating a magic system that helps me explore the types of topics that I want to explore. So I'm looking at systems of power in history and in the present day, looking at whose legacies get remembered and whose legacies get forgotten. And the magic system that I developed serves all of that. But it's also a ton of fun to create a magic system that helps explain why someone can create a magical sword out of nowhere, or why there are monsters that we can see.
I'm going to pause it there. But again, a great way to give your patrons a little taste of this title. I always say it's just such a great way to utilize a book talk, but have the author be the one who's talking about that background and inspiration and creation of the book. You have that same sharing option. There's your arrow. And remember, anybody you share with has direct access with no login required. You have that link, and here are your printable options. You'll see an extra printable option here that wasn't on the list, and that's the Shelf Talker option. Shelf Talkers are available for resources that are audio or video, but only can be one resource at a time. So you can't share a whole list of titles because these have to be one resource at a time. And if you open them up, you will recognize from one of the pictures. You can fold these over the edge of a shelf or a book, and you'll see the title and then the QR code to scan. Now, I said before that I was going to show you two different Meet the Author recordings so you can see how they are different when it comes to fiction and nonfiction. So the next one I'm going to search for is The Rise and Fall of Charles Lindbergh. We'll select it here. You'll see this book page will look very similar. And here's our Meet the Author recording here. And we'll just listen to a little bit of this one as well.
Hi, my name is Candace Fleming, and I'm the author of The Rise and Fall of Charles Lindbergh. Can I tell you a secret? I hadn't planned on writing a biography of Charles Lindbergh. In truth, I didn't think he was all that interesting. Sure, I knew he'd been the first person to fly nonstop across the Atlantic, but that feat, it really didn't interest me. At first, what I wanted to write about was the Lindbergh baby kidnapping. I wanted to examine the mystery of that stolen toddler. I wanted to decipher the puzzle of it all. But as I researched, I kept uncovering all these crazy, weird, never-told truths about Charles Lindbergh. Like, when he went to college, his mother went with him. Seriously, she went with him so she could do his cooking, clean his laundry, and she even wrote his papers. And he still flunked out of college.
I'm going to pause it there. I love that though. And I love that she is talking about how throughout her research process, she found all these weird facts that she uncovered during. So what a great way to kind of hook your readers. I mean, if you're thinking of even for featuring for maybe like a book club or something like that, what a great way to kind of start it off. But another way to feature, and here's your sharing option here if you want to share that with readers. Another way to showcase your books or kind of get your readers excited or interested in some titles we do have lots of book trailers available for your readers to view. So if you type in a title, you can select the title. You can also type book trailers in the search and you'll see titles with book trailers that come up. But here we'll go to this page. You'll see the video book trailer shows up here, but as I scroll down more, you'll see book trailers down here. And here is this video book trailer. This one is also kind of similar to a book talk. We get to see the author again and hear about the creation for the title.
Hey, this is Christina, and I'm the author of All 13, The Incredible Cave Rescue of the Thai Boys Soccer Team. And in these videos, I'm sharing some of my favorite things about the book and some of the things I'm most excited for you to read. So one thing I want you to know is that there is a ton of cool science and engineering in this book. In fact, the entire rescue operation was really one massive engineering problem. And I'm an engineer by training, and one of the things that I loved about writing this story is that this was a perfect example of how science, or STEM, was used in real life. You know, so often we think of these subjects as just things we have to learn in school, but here in this rescue you have geology, you have meteorology, you have hydrology and engineering, and you have the science of scuba diving, which involves a lot of chemistry and physics. And you also have the biology of what happens to your body when you're trapped underground or when you're diving far below the water. So all of this was really cool, fascinating stuff I got to learn about in a real world situation. And then I get to share that with you. And then
I'm going to pause it there. But again, a great way, especially when you're thinking of some of your patrons, if they are interested in the science engineering type of reading, this would be a great book to recommend for them as well. And they can listen to the author talk about the creation for the title. Some other resources we have available would be, we have audio excerpts, and we even do have complete book readings. And I'm going to show you something. If you're looking for complete book readings of titles, you can go to our collection just by typing in complete or book reading or book, then you'll get to this complete book readings collection and you can filter from here. And when I say book readings, this is the complete title. It is freely shareable, so there's no copyright infringement. Some of these are really cool because the authors are actually reading the book, so you really get to hear the voice for the intended characters and how it was supposed to sound. So if that's a way you want to feature, you can use these complete book readings. I'm going to click into one just so you can see The Day You Begin. I'll show you where to find them. We first went to the magnifying glass and then typed in complete. And if you go down, in fact, let me show you. If you come to the book page and scroll down to the accordions, you'll see book readings. We have several complete book readings, but we also have an excerpt. So if you're, it depends on what you're looking for. Here's the complete video reading narrated by the author. So again, something you can freely share, and you can see as she reads some of this.
Hi, it's Marley Dias. Welcome to Bookmarks, celebrating Black voices. The Day You Begin reminds us that we are each unique, and sometimes we may feel different than those around us, but it's okay. The Day You Begin will be read by its award-winning author, Jacqueline Woodson, and it's illustrated by Rafael Lopez.
Hey, I'm Jacqueline Woodson, and I'm so excited to be reading to you from my book, The Day You Begin. As we go through the book, I want you to notice the rulers. They are everywhere, and there's a reason for them that we'll talk about afterwards.
I love how that she prefaces it with that too, because then that makes, you know, it might make your readers automatically want to read this. Like they're curious about these rulers that they see in the book. You have the same sharing options for this, so this can be freely shared. Lastly, I want to show you one thing that we have available on pages that you might not see because it's on a different side. So I'm going to search for fighting words here. And over here on the left side, right under the cover image, you'll see Google Preview option. I love this idea because what a great way to see if a book is a good match for a patron that you're working with, but letting them read some of that. We have the Google Preview option, and for this one, it gives you the first 5 chapters. So that's a great way to let them read a little bit and determine if this is a book that they want to continue reading. So you can always share the Google Preview idea with them, have them take a look, see if it's a good match and something that they want to check out from there. And that will show up under the book cover images. You'll see if we have a Google Preview available, that's where it will show up right there. So last thing we wanted to tell you guys is just if you ever have questions, you can always reach out to us. Susannah can put our emails in the chat, Susannah@teachingbooks.net or Crystal@teachingbooks.net. We do have help available. You can search help and you'll get options for, if you have any questions, you can see there's training options, video tutorials. I highly recommend visiting our video tutorials page. There are, if there's anything we did today that you've forgotten how to do, you can come here. You can also always email us, but you can come here and see if either of any of these tutorials will help you. There's 2-minute takeaways, creating a login, and then we do have a webinar archive as well.
And there is a 2-minute takeaway all about Reader's Advisory. So it's going to be a recap of some of the things we just talked about. Little less in depth.
There it is.
I just also wanted to say two other things. One of them is I love all of the resource types that Crystal shared there. And I think they're really phenomenal tools, not only for helping patrons preview a book that you think they might want to read, but also for previewing books yourselves. You know, we don't have time to read all of the phenomenal books on our library shelves. And so giving yourself those opportunities to just get a little bit of a taste so that you can more accurately recommend a book to a patron is always useful. And the other is I just want to point out that when we say something is freely shareable, it means that we have done the work on our end to make sure that you don't need to worry about copyright restrictions, any of that. So anything that is on the site, you can share with anyone in your community through whatever means you would prefer, whether that's our QR code printables or sharing a list or a resource in a newsletter or on social media. All of that is available to you.
Yes, thank you, Susannah. So we are going to go ahead and stop the recording and see if there are any questions. Thank you again for joining us today.